Today I'll be swatching and reviewing what is arguably the most popular drugstore lipstick at the moment. I have the Milani Color Fetish Lipsticks. I have 2 from the new Nudes collection, which is a matte formula, and 6 of the originals. So I'll be doing lip swatches of all of these, share my thoughts, as well as some comparing and contrasting between the 2 formulas. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Miranda. Welcome to my channel where we talk all things budget beauty. If that sounds interesting to you, then become the newest member of the Slashed Squad by hitting subscribe and the bell icon. All right, some fast facts before we get into swatches. The Color Fetish lipsticks are $8.99 regardless of which formula you choose. The Nudes collection, which are the matte shades, are available in 6 neutral colors, and then the original version, which has 9 shades, have both neutral and bright colors. Now, I did say in my last video that I had the entire original collection. That is what I thought. I was wrong. I am missing 3 shades. So sorry about that, but you will see the majority of the collection and get an idea of how they perform. Now, I had tried the matte version of this lipstick before I tried any of the originals, and that was actually in my last YouTube video, my Ulta haul, and I had no idea that they were completely different formulas. They also have a slightly different look. So from the outside, the main difference is that the matte formula has gold trim where it says the brand name, and the original is in black. I really wish that they also made the actual packaging matte instead of glossy. I think that would have been a really cool difference, but whatever. I'm not on the design team. Now, the biggest difference between the original Color Fetish and the new Nudes collection in the matte formula, besides the formula itself, is the shape of the bullet. The original Color Fetish lipsticks have this flat round shape, whereas the matte versions have a very traditional lipstick shape. Now, I'll get a little bit more into the why later on, but I much prefer the shape of the matte version. All right, I'm gonna share my thoughts on the formulas while the swatches show on screen. So first, you're gonna see me swatch the matte shades. Now, this is such a comfortable matte formula. It feels so good on the lips. It has a velvet matte appearance, but it does not have that matte feeling. It does not accentuate any lines. I felt like it actually camouflaged some of my drier patches. Incredibly pigmented, full coverage color on one swipe, and the formula does contain hyaluronic acid and castor oil, so it does sort of feel moisturizing as you apply. Now, the original Color Fetish lipsticks are a whole different animal. These are a fusion between lip balm, lip oil, and lipstick. You get sheer to medium buildable color, and it really just melts onto the lips like a balm. As soon as you touch this to your skin, it almost liquefies. The original Color Fetish lipsticks definitely remind me of the Revlon Super Lustrous Glass Shine lipsticks. If you've tried those and you like those, you're probably going to like these, and I think these might have a little bit more pigmentation. It's made with an 85% blend of oils. We've got shea butter, jojoba oil, grapeseed oil, and apricot seed kernel oil, and this just feels so slippy on the lips. You get a shiny finish that slightly dries down while you wear it, and honestly, even though they describe the color as sheer to medium, most of these shades gave me a ton of color, like as much color as a normal lipstick, with the exception of Kink, which is the purple. I felt like that one was a little bit too sheer for my liking. I really wanted just a bit more vibrancy. Now, let me tell you why I preferred the application of the matte lipstick over the original. So with this flat round shape on the original lipstick, I felt like it was already a little bit more difficult to get a clean line to my lips because the formula is so melty, and it pretty much dulls the edge of the shape very quickly. So I felt like I just had to keep going in to clean up the outer border of my lips. And as it would melt onto my skin very quickly, I could see it sort of just ending up in places I wasn't necessarily wanting it to be. Whereas with the pointed traditional lipstick shape of the matte lipstick, plus the fact that it's not melting into your skin, it was just a lot more of a precise application. And you can see this a lot with the shade that I wore all day yesterday, which is Fantasy. The edge of this lipstick is almost completely flat because that's what I was using to line my lips. So the duller that edge gets, the less precision I have during application, and I'm almost experiencing like immediate smearing when I apply it. Now, in my last video, the Ulta haul where I tested the matte color fetish lipstick for the first time, I wore teas all day. I did a wear test, so you can see that. I'll link it below. But the basic rundown is that while it was very comfortable and it started out with great pigmentation, it didn't quite last through a fast food lunch. And I did say in that video that I was not particularly surprised that it didn't last all day. Even as a matte formula, most bullet lipsticks aren't going to cling onto your lips like a matte liquid lipstick. So I'll let you watch that video if you want to see what the matte lipstick looks like at the end of the day. But for this video, I did want to do a test of the original Color Fetish formula. Now I gotta say, because the matte version did not last me throughout the day, I did not expect much more from the glossy version. Because let's face it, this stays feeling balmy and slick on the lips. It's not at all transfer proof or budge proof or smudge proof. So yesterday I wore the shade Fantasy. I went about my day and then I had Panda Express for lunch. So I had oily chow mein and chicken and it didn't look great after eating, I'm not gonna lie. Because this is such a slippy formula and because I didn't feel like I had a very precise application in the first place, it was no big surprise that I started to see a little bit of smearing and feathering around my lip line. But what did surprise me is that the color on my actual lips didn't look all that faded. Like obviously it wasn't as strong as when I freshly applied, but I kind of expected it to be completely gone. But it still looked pretty strong, if anything, subtly but evenly faded in the center of my lips. Now I did notice while swatching that some of these darker or brighter shades do leave a stain behind. Here you can see me removing the purple shade Kink and there's a pretty strong sort of pink shade left behind. And whenever you have a lipstick that stains, that's going to help it appear to maintain color more. However, the feathering and smearing after eating is just not something that I would want to deal with. And at this point with my lipstick looking like this, I would feel like I need to completely remove it and reapply it, which is what I ended up doing. But I lined my lips first because I wanted to see how this did if we wore a lip liner to just solve the feathering problem. So I ended up going in with the Milani Color Statement Lip Liner. This is in the shade 12 Bordeaux. It ended up being like almost an exact shade match, so you're welcome. So I went ahead and lined my lips with this. Now, usually when I put on lip liner, I do tend to fill in my lips completely. It usually just helps your lipstick last longer. But this time, just for the sake of testing, I focused on the outline of my lips and then I just slightly faded it inward. And then I topped it off with the Color Fetish lipstick. So I did a little bit of snacking, mostly though I was sipping out of my water bottle, which has a pretty thick straw on it all day. And at the end of the day, my lipstick looked so much better than it did after the first half of the day. Again, maybe slightly faded in the middle, but for the most part, I think that it still looked good enough that I didn't feel like I needed to run and clean anything up or reapply. So while you might get away with not lining your lips with the more neutral Color Fetish lipsticks in the original formula, with the brights or the dark shades, I would 100% suggest a lip liner so you don't end up with like Joker mouth. But I'm surprised that I was wrong in that the color itself from the original formula lasted longer than the matte formula. I don't know why. But overall, I really enjoyed both of these formulas. I don't think one really outweighs the other. It's just personal preference. Either you're reapplying throughout the day with the matte lipstick or you're adding a step with lip liner with the original. Have you tried the Milani Color Fetish lipsticks in either the original or matte version? Let me know what you think of them in the comments below. Today's shout out goes to Letty. Thanks for being a member of the Slashed Squad. And join me over in this video next where I share a mini Ulta haul and do a full face of new drugstore makeup. I'll see you over there. Bye!